Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's FlexLearn clinic on open educational resources. So I'm Ku from Cole. I'll be facilitating a session on open educational resources. Basically, I will introduce to you what is an OER resource and how is it used in course development at WOU. I think some of you who have been here for maybe more than 3 years would have already known what an OER is, Open Educational Resource. So I will briefly run through the components of an open educational resource and also follow through how to identify a resource and how to use it in our as our course content in WOU publication. So our objective today basically is to explain what OER content is, and we'll focus on the attributes of the Creative Commons license and how to use OER materials according to its license at WOU. So open educational resources are considered teaching, learning, or research materials in any medium. It can be in the form of usually in the form of digitalized media, and can be a resource such as a web link, a video, a piece of information, or also can be pictures, charts, graphs, and so on, or even sound media can also be considered as an OER resource, or so-called in open education terms, maybe we call it as a learning content, can be in any format and forms. So usually it resides in the public domain where you can search using the internet, or you can just Google any one of the resource, maybe some learning or teaching resource that you need according to the subject matter that you wish to look for. You can search on it on the internet, and sometimes it is a public domain, and then sometimes you have a copyrighted work uploaded on Google as well. So usually all these items have contains open license, and we will go through what the license account for each of the resource that you're going to use. And then for those resource, if it is not openly available, then that means there is usually copyrighted clause added to the resource that you are going to use. So in order to use a particular resource, you need to search for whether the content or the resource that you're going to use belongs in the public domain, or it contains an open license that allow anyone to use the copyrighted work. So like I mentioned earlier, there are many types of OER. It can be text or print-based materials that you usually can find via Google. It also contains visual or photos that are considered as an OER resource. It can also be audio files, sometimes sound files or lecture notes, or those items uploaded as a part of lecture series or something like that that you can see on YouTube usually. Videos as well, audio-visual materials that you can see on YouTube. Sometimes it can be a public domain item or resource, or it belongs to the OER resource by itself. You need to read through the specific terms and conditions and in the details section of a particular video or visual or photo or the text-based material in order to find out how to use the particular resource in your learning content. Sometimes certain animations or small GIF related resource can also be an OER resource in that sense. These are short little clips, maybe about 1 or 2 minutes or less, that comes across as an animation that can be used as a learning content in your course content. So whenever you look for an OER resource, open educational resource usually comes in a public domain item, or it can be copyrighted or so-called comprised under the Creative Commons license. So whenever you look for a particular resource, you can look for whether there's a Creative Commons license attached to this resource or not. So if there's a Creative Commons license, then it will be able to guide you on how you're able to use that particular resource as your learning content in your material that you are preparing for. So if it is, let's say, a public domain item or particular resource, usually you'll be listed as CC and public domain. If it is other than the public domain license that you're going to use, then you will be listed under various different attributes of the license. And I will go through the license accordingly in a while to let you know how basically the license dictates how you're going to use the content as your learning content once you adapt that particular content in your learning material. So before I start, let's have an activity. Do you roughly know how many attributes are there for under the Creative Commons license? Do you know what are they? Anyone?
Should be 4, Guru.
You can actually scan. You can actually scan through this. Use the this QR code to get to know the answer. Have you all tried scanning? Just probably leave about 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes for you all to go through and scan the answers. So the correct answer is 4 actually. So it is D. There are actually 4 attributes: attribution, non-commercial, non-derivative, and share alike. Not 6, yeah, Prakash. 6 is the combination of different attributes, which I will explain later. Okay, next, moving on. Open educational resources, where to find and how to use them. Basically, it's as easy as Googling for your resource according to your subject matter. You can just go onto Google and just type any keyword search of a particular topic that you're searching for. Let's say you're going to develop a course on consumer behavior or organizational behavior. So you can just go to Google and search for maybe the keyword can be OER on organizational behavior, OER on consumer behavior, or any other subject matter that you are interested to look up the particular resource. So when you actually search for that particular resource, there will be various strings of searches that you will come up. after you key in your search. And then you'll be able to see something like this when you click on the link. If it is an OER resource with Creative Commons license, you have the Creative Commons attribution beneath the particular resource, and then together with a sample of the textbook or any resource that you're looking for. So you'll look something like this on the right. So we go through each of the attribute, the 4 attributes that I mentioned earlier. Attribution basically gives the license to others to distribute, remix, tweak, or build on the author's original work. So attribution requires you to credit the original author of the content. So that means if you see a CC license with the attribution license, usually it's a CC BY, then you have to attribute the writer when you use the resource as your content for, let's say, for a particular course that you are developing. So if it is a non-commercial license, means that you are not able to use that particular resource for commercial advantage or monetary compensation. That means you cannot sell that particular resource that you have used to adapt. So non-commercial means that no sales is involved. Attribution means you have to credit the original author. Okay, the next license, no derivatives, means that you cannot modify the original content of the resource that you have adapted as your learning content. That means whatever that is used as your learning content, you adapt the OER, you cannot change the wordings or the phrases or the paragraphs inside the particular content. You have to use it verbatim as it is. So if you were to change the content or you have to modify or adapt yourself, then you will infringe that particular no derivatives component or attribute of the license already, which is considered wrong. So this no derivatives license, that means you have to use it as it is. So the last attribute is share alike, meaning that by using this particular, if you have this resource with this particular component, share alike means that you have to share your learning content with others if you adapt this content to use as your learning resource. That is the meaning of share alike. So when you adapt an OER resource, basically it's either 4 of these attributes that you'll be able to see in the license component that I show you in the example earlier. So it can be CC BY or CC BY NC, CC BY ND, or share alike. So there is actually a combination of various attributes that dictate how you can use OER resource as your learning content in when you develop a course. So let's look at the combination. Basically, attribution alone, you have a CC BY, Creative Commons CC BY, meaning that you have to attribute the original author of the content. And then you have attribution and no derivatives, CC BY ND. That means you have to attribute the original author, but you cannot modify the content, no derivatives. So this is how the Creative Commons license dictate how you use the content as your learning resource, or when you develop the content based on an OER resource. So if you see any one of these licenses, you will be able to identify how to use it as your learning content. Following that, we continue with attribution, share alike. That means CC by SA. That means you have to credit the original author and also share the learning content once you have adapted the OER as your learning resource. Following that, we have attribution, non-commercial. That means you have to attribute the original author and you cannot sell the learning content that you have created based on the OER resource. Then you have a combination of three as well, CC by, NC, ND, meaning that you have to credit the original author, you cannot sell the content, and you cannot modify the content as well. This is what it means by CC by, NC, ND. Then the last one, attribution, non-commercial, share alike. So you have to attribute the original creator, original author. You cannot sell the content, non-commercial, and you have to share the content that you have created with others if you adapt that particular OER with this particular license. Okay. Anybody, any questions so far? So quiet. Okay, I shall continue with another activity. So after my explanation earlier, so this is just a simple activity. What is meant by a resource with this, the following Creative Commons license, CC by SA? So what would you think would be the answer for this question? Anybody got the answer already? No. Anybody?
Yep, got the answer.
So the answer would be B.
B.
You can use the resource provided you credit the author and share the adapted work of the resource like the original resource. So this is what it means by CC by SA license. Okay, next, another activity. This is just a very simple case. Mr. A modified a Creative Commons resource from the internet, did not attribute the original resource for his work and sold his work for 800 ringgit profit. Original work also states permission is required if one modifies the original work. So which of the license has he infringed? I'll just give you maybe about 1 to 2 minutes just to sort out your answer. I think it's pretty straightforward after my explanation earlier. Oh yeah, remember to scan your scan the QR code to key in your answers. Yeah, you receive a badge in your sandbox for the activities that you have completed throughout this clinic session. This is the last activity. There are 3 activities for this clinic this time. So the badges will be reflected in your sandbox on FlexLearn after you have completed all 3. Okay, time's up. What is the answer? Anybody?
C.
Yes, correct. Answer is C. Okay, so next, let's look at the sample resources with Creative Commons license. So I've Googled a few samples to show you how to identify whether a particular resource has a CC license or not. So basically, once you Google or search for a particular resource or maybe a write-up or any journal articles or so on, or from the libraries, you scroll down to the end of the page to look for the license. You should be able to see the Creative Commons license if that resource is an OER. So whenever you look for a particular resource while researching for your learning content to develop a course or maybe to develop your learning activity or maybe test questions or whatever, you can go to any of the resource and search for the particular license, the Creative Commons license. If there is a license or you see the logo, the Creative Commons logo, then you should be able to identify how to use the content or how to adapt the content as part of your learning content. So this is a sample of a resource of maybe a text or journal article. Then let's say if you have a YouTube video or maybe audio books or so on, search for the description underneath the video. You should be able to view the license component where you will be listed Creative Commons Attributions License Reuse Allowed. So in this case, this will be CC BY. So you can actually click on the, I think, more detailed section in the YouTube video to find out more about the license for that particular video. Next, I have a few samples of OER repositories that I have compiled for over a couple of years. These are all pretty useful links, I think, and you all can use to search for your learning content. The list is quite exhaustive, so I have shortlisted actually quite a few useful ones. For example, OER Project, Merlot, Sailor Academy, Lumen Learning, Open Learning Initiative, OpenStax. If you have noticed, we have already been using OER learning content since I think quite a while ago, about 10 years back or maybe more. So we have content from Sailors Academy that we have used before, Lumen Learning as well, Open Learning Initiative, OpenStax also, and also Merlot. So you can actually go into all these websites and explore yourself and key in the subject matter that you want to search for and find any OER resources that you can use according to the subject matter that you're searching for. Maybe for special needs education or other topics in business, in science, in maybe robotics and so on, you can try searching using these repositories, see whether you can find any resources that you can use to develop your learning content. So I have actually compiled roughly about 2 pages. So there are actually more links compared to the ones that I've just listed here. So the ones that I listed here are just the popular ones and the ones that we have already used as partners of our learning content at WOU. OER Commons is also another one that we have really used before, Wiki University. So before I end this clinic, I'd like to know whether how many of you are aware that we have an WOU actually has an OER policy. We have actually created an OER policy before. Any one of you are aware of this policy? Do you know what Creative Commons license that we subscribe to in our policy? So quiet. Oh my God.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I cannot answer that question. I wrote the
Okay.
policy, so somebody has answered the
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, Ara here, Aratai. Yes,
Hi,
Gu,
Aratai, yeah.
yes, I'm aware, but but I'm not very sure, what are the OER that we have subscribed. But I'm aware because whenever I develop, I will make sure that, whatever that content is really OER material.
Okay, understood.
Yep.
Okay, just a little background story lah before I end my clinic, right? So we have actually, WOU has actually developed an OER policy a couple of years ago, back in 2020, 2012, if I'm not mistaken. So we have actually stored the information in the OER website, probably not integrated into our current corporate website at the moment. So if you are interested to know, you can probably look for this site. Okay, so this is the OER repository that we have developed, I think quite some time ago, more than 10 years back. So this website actually contains the information that you need to know about WOU's open license policy. So it has a little bit of information that with regards to the OER policy that WOU uses. So if you search through this website, you should be able to see the policy. So this is our OER policy, WOU OER policy.
Cool. This is the open licensing policy. You need to open the
Oh.
OER policy that too.
Yeah. So basically, what I just want to show is the policy that we are subscribing. So, I mean, if you have time, you can read about the open policy, but here I'm just going through to the end. So this is the policy that we use, the Creative Commons license that we use for WOU learning content. So it is CC by NCSA, meaning that you have to credit the original author. It's not for sale, non-commercial, and you have to share the learning content that you have created based on the original work. So this is the our WOU Creative Commons license, so to speak. So I hope this brings back, maybe can refresh a memory on what is the Creative Commons license for WOU, and also for those new course leads who have just joined us in this session today, then you will be able to know how to use the learning content, or when you created your learning content in WOU, then you can share the learning content based on this particular attribute or this particular license from WOU. Okay. Anybody, any questions before I end my clinic?
I got one question. Okay, to ask you
Yes,
regarding
Dr.
the
Lee.
share, regarding the sharing. So you mean share means that we are sharing back to the web, is it? So anyone
Yes,
can see our
correct.
resources, huh?
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you.
That means what you have adapted from the original content, you're supposed to share it out again to everyone.
Okay. Okay, noted. Thank you.
So have you found your OER resource for international
Yeah.
financial management?
Yes. I got found the resources already. So
Okay.
maybe I need to look into the license again. Then
The license will tell you how to use the content.
Yes. Then if anything I'm not clear, I can still ask you.
Okay, sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Lee. Anybody else? Any questions so far? New course leads, anybody? Kelvin, Brian, who else? Dr.
No
Tang,
question.
is it?
No question for now. Cool. Thank you. It's
Okay.
clear for now. Yeah.
All good, cool. Thanks.
Who else is new? Let me see. Okay. Dr. Lee, any questions? Dr. Lee Yong Xiang, is it?
Yeah, so far so good. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, okay. Dr. Ngu, anything? Any questions would you like to ask? Sorry, I can't hear you. Never mind, it's okay. You can key in the chat, I think. Just look at the chat.
She mentioned no questions.
Oh, okay.
Maybe her mic is not functioning.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Mm.
So if there are no further questions, I will end the clinic today. Thank you everyone for your participation. Make sure that you attend the 3 activities that I showed in my slides earlier, so that you'll be able to get the badge in the sandbox for your session today. Do you need me to repeat the questions again so that you can capture the QR code if you haven't done so earlier? Hello, why so quiet?
Yes.
Cool, maybe
please.
you can share the
Okay,
slides.
I'll
right?
share the slides again.
Okay, thank you.
I'll share the
just
slides
want to-
here. Sorry, yes.
Yeah, so I just want to ask, like, because when we key in, because it's anonymous, right? So it's like, we didn't key in the name, so we still get the badges for the Slido. Or do we need to key in something first? Yeah.
I think Tazida will be able to retrieve your information once you have answered the question. So irrespective of whether you have to key in or not, we'll have the information recorded in the Slido site, don't worry. We'll retrieve that and pass to you.
I think in the case, so we need to key in our name better, right? Then you can retrieve the
You
information.
can key in your name, yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I will share my slides in this chat later after this session, so you all can attempt the activities again. Okay, if there are no further questions, I will end the clinic today. Hopefully, everyone has gained some information on what is OER and how to use OER as our learning content at WOU. Okay, thank you, everyone.